Hey everyone, welcome back.
Yeah.
So today we're diving into something pretty interesting, I think. We're going to be talking about
Okay.
looks versus,
Yep.
personality, I guess.
Right.
We're looking at this article called Prioritizing Character Over Appearance: The Value of a Good Heart by David Adu.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating.
Okay.
We all know that the world kind of puts a lot of emphasis on how we look,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
But this article is asking us to kind of flip that on its head.
Yeah.
So, like, why should we actually, care more about a good heart than how someone looks?
Well, I think the article makes a really good point right off the bat.
Okay.
It reminds us that looks, well, they don't last forever.
Right. Right.
We all get older. Things
Yeah.
change, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not just about wrinkles or anything like that. It's more about,
Mm-hmm.
I think, this idea that if you focus too much on just the outside,
Yeah.
you might miss out on some really genuine connections.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. It's like that saying, don't judge a book by its cover.
Totally. I've definitely had those moments where I'm like, wow, this person is stunning. But then you start talking to them and it's just like,
Yeah.
crickets.
Yeah. No substance.
Exactly. It's like that initial spark just fizzles out because there's nothing to fuel it.
Right. And the article really digs into this whole idea of
Okay.
impermanence versus these, what it calls enduring qualities.
I like that.
Yeah. The things that make a person who they really are.
Right, right.
Like, have you ever met someone who might not be like supermodel gorgeous,
Yeah.
but they just light up a room with their
Right?
personality?
Totally. They have this like magnetic energy. You're just drawn to them.
It's like their kindness, their humor, their compassion. It just shines through.
Exactly. You just feel good being around them.
Yeah. And so that brings up a good question, right?
Yeah.
How do we actually spot a good heart?
Right, because it's not always so obvious.
Yeah.
Like, what are the signs?
Well, the article breaks it down into these three key things:
Yeah.
empathy, kindness, and integrity.
Okay, let's unpack those.
Sure.
Let's start with empathy.
Okay.
I feel like that's a word we hear all the time, but what does it actually mean?
So, like, imagine a friend is going through a tough breakup, right?
Hmm.
Someone with empathy wouldn't just be like, oh, you'll get over it.
Right.
They would actually try to understand what their friend is going through,
Yeah.
feel that pain with them,
Right.
and offer genuine support.
It's about connecting on a deeper level.
Exactly.
Not just acknowledging their feelings, but actually feeling them with them.
Yeah. Just powerful stuff.
Okay, so what about kindness?
Well, this one might seem straightforward.
Yeah.
But the article makes this really interesting point
Okay.
about how even the smallest acts of kindness can have a ripple effect.
Oh, I like that.
It's not always about grand gestures.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just those little things,
Of what?
like holding a door for someone, offering a genuine compliment,
Mm-hmm.
or even just, lending a listening ear.
Yeah, yeah.
Those might seem small,
Right.
but they can actually make someone's day.
It's true.
And they create this sense of connection.
Yeah, totally. We often underestimate the power of those small acts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then there's integrity.
Right.
That one seems a bit more complex.
It is, yeah.
What does that really mean?
Well, basically, it's about doing the right thing, even when it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
even when no one is watching.
I feel like we've all been tempted to take the shortcut sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
But this is about choosing the harder path.
It is. And it's like this inner compass that guides us to make choices we can be proud of.
Yeah, it's like that voice inside that's like, hey, this might be the easy way, but is it the right way?
You got it.
And it's about building trust
Right.
and the self-respect.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say we're starting to see the value of a good heart, right? How do we actually move beyond just judging people based on their looks?
Well, the article suggests that instead of getting caught up in appearances,
Yeah.
we should focus on building relationships that are grounded in, mutual respect,
Mhm.
shared values,
Yeah.
and genuine understanding.
It's about having those conversations that go beyond the surface.
Exactly.
Where you're really connecting with someone's thoughts, experiences,
Yeah.
dreams, all of that.
Right.
Like, not just small talk.
Exactly. It's about really getting to know someone
Yeah.
on a deeper level.
Okay, so we're moving from those superficial judgments to something more substantial.
Yes.
But how do we actually do that?
Well, that's what we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, we'll get into some practical tips and real-life examples.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Me too. It's kind of like the difference between just scrolling through social media and, like, actually sitting down with someone for a meal and hearing their story.
Right, right. It's like those picture perfect highlight reels versus real, raw conversations.
Exactly. And you know what the article also talks about?
Yeah.
The importance of like shared experiences.
Oh,
Like
no.
it's not just about talking,
Mm,
it's about doing things together
right.
that, reflect your values, your interests.
Like what kind of things?
Oh, there's so many. Like volunteering for a cause you both believe in,
Okay.
taking a class to learn something new,
Yeah.
exploring a new city together.
It's about making memories, not just taking selfies.
Exactly. Those shared adventures, they really deepen your connection.
Okay, but let's be real for a second.
Hmm?
It's not always easy to, like, shift our focus away from looks?
Right.
Especially with all these messages everywhere telling us that beauty is everything.
Yeah, it's tough.
So, how do we challenge that?
That's where self-awareness comes in, I think.
Okay.
It's about like taking a step back and asking yourself, what do I actually value in myself and others?
Yeah.
Like, are you drawn to those flashy, superficial traits or something more?
It's like checking in with your internal compass, making
Exactly.
sure it's pointing in the right direction.
Right. And once you've done that,
Okay.
it's about aligning your priorities
Yeah.
with those deeper qualities,
Mm-hmm.
the things that really matter.
So, it's not just about changing our thinking,
Right.
it's about changing our actions, too.
Exactly. Walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's like what we put out there is what we attract, right?
Oh, absolutely. If you're always focused on superficial stuff,
Yeah.
that's what you're going to get back.
Makes sense.
But if you're radiating kindness and authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
you're more likely to attract people who value those same things.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And speaking of which,
Yeah.
this reminds me of Emma's story in the article.
Oh, yeah, Emma. What was her deal again?
Well, she kind of had this aha moment
Hmm.
where she realized that
Yeah.
focusing on looks wasn't really leading to fulfilling relationships.
Yeah.
At first, she was all about, the physical attraction,
Mm-hmm.
but it always left her feeling empty.
Like she was missing something.
Exactly. It was like she was chasing this fleeting high that never lasted.
She was going for the sparkle, but not the substance.
Yeah, exactly. And then she decided to make a change.
Okay.
She started looking for partners who had, the qualities she now valued:
Like what?
kindness, empathy, a genuine good heart.
So she shifted her focus.
She did.
And what happened?
Well, she met Alex,
Okay.
and their connection wasn't based on just looks.
Right.
It was built on shared values,
Yeah.
mutual respect, real understanding.
That's awesome.
It's right.
Uh-huh.
And that's the kind of foundation that can really last.
It's like building a house on solid ground, not on sand.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about self-awareness, aligning our priorities,
Yeah.
looking for those signs of a good heart.
Mhm.
But the article also mentions something called media literacy.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Can you explain that a little?
So basically, it's about recognizing that we're
Oh.
constantly surrounded by images and messages that
Mm.
promote these unrealistic beauty standards.
Right, like airbrush models and filters and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to just absorb those messages without even realizing it.
Just like we need to develop a filter for all that noise.
Yes. Media literacy is about being critical of the content we consume.
So not just passively taking it all in,
Right.
but actually questioning it.
Exactly. Like, who benefits from these narrow definitions of beauty?
Yeah.
And how is this shaping my own views?
It's about becoming more conscious consumers of media.
Yes, exactly.
And the article even encourages us to support media
Yeah.
that promotes a broader definition of beauty.
Right, like content that celebrates diversity, authenticity, inner qualities.
So it's not just about changing our own mind.
Right.
It's about changing the conversation.
Yeah, it's about advocating for a media landscape that reflects real beauty.
That's a great point.
And, it's not just about the media either. We need to challenge these norms in our everyday lives, too.
Like how?
Well, think about the conversations we have, the compliments we give.
Mm,
Instead of always focusing on someone's looks,
yeah.
what if we started celebrating their kindness, their intelligence, their creativity?
I love that. It's about recognizing the full spectrum of human qualities.
Exactly.
And not just the ones that fit into some narrow definition of beauty.
Right, and it's not just about words either.
Okay.
It's about our actions.
Like what?
Supporting organizations that promote positive body image.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking out against discrimination based on appearance.
Yeah.
Creating a world where a good heart is truly valued.
I think that's something we can all get behind.
I hope so.
This has been so eye-opening. It's
Yeah.
really made me think about how much emphasis we put on looks.
It's everywhere, right?
It is, and it's important to challenge those assumptions.
Absolutely. A good heart is so much more than just some fluffy concept.
Right, it's a real force for good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, the article leaves us with this really interesting question
Okay.
about the impact of inner beauty.
Mm-hmm.
It asks us to consider how acts of kindness, compassion, integrity,
Yeah.
they create this ripple effect, you know,
Oh, I like that.
inspiring others to do the same.
It's like be the change you want to see in the world.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But it goes even deeper than that, I think.
Okay.
It suggests that a good heart can actually be transformative.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is, right? Not just for ourselves, but for our communities and the world.
It's like this reminder that even small acts of kindness can make a difference.
Yeah. And that by prioritizing a good heart,
Mm-hmm.
we not only enrich our own lives,
Right.
but we contribute to a more compassionate and understanding world.
That's a beautiful thought.
It is, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, what if we just assumed everyone has a good heart,
Yeah.
until proven otherwise?
Wow. I like that. Instead of like being skeptical, just be curious.
Right.
Open.
Exactly. It doesn't
Sure.
mean you ignore,
No.
warning signs.
Right.
But it's about giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, totally. Makes me think of this thing my grandma used to say. She was like, you can learn something from everyone if you just listen.
That's so true. It's about seeing the potential in everyone.
Yeah. Like, what if we all tried to walk through the world with that kind of open heart?
The world would be a very different place.
Yeah. Even if it's just a small shift in our own perspective, imagine how that could spread.
Absolutely. Well, I think this has been a really insightful deep dive. We've covered a lot.
Yeah, we have, from like why a good heart matters to how to actually spot it.
And how to, challenge those beauty standards we see everywhere.
Totally. It's clear that a good heart, it's not just some nice idea.
Right.
It's like it really impacts everything.
It does. Our relationships, our communities, the whole world.
So, as we wrap up, let's all try to, you know, really embrace those qualities.
Yes, in ourselves, in others, everywhere.
And remember, the world needs your good heart.
It really does.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you've learned something.
And feel inspired?
Yeah, go out there and make the world a little brighter.
Spread that kindness.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Mm-hmm.